for a wild night of monster truck racing on ESPN. Bigfoot has a close encounter with the wall in a win over the Outlaw. But the gunslinger returns for a little wildness of his own. Hello, monster truck fans. I'm Scott Douglas. Joining me in a moment will be Army Armstrong and Chris Chapman. We're at Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York for the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. A capacity crowd is on hand for the superstars of monster truck racing. Today's lineup at Lebanon Valley Speedway, a dry track compared to the first night of racing here. That means we'll have high speeds today. Bigfoot number 8, still trying to hammer out his handling problems. He had them bad last time. And Equalizer continues to build that points lead. The Monster Smash final a week ago allowed Equalizer to add to the season lead with a win over the Carolina Crusher, and that increased his advantage over Bigfoot. Well, as we come into today's action, Equalizer hopes to make it 2 in a row. If he does, he'll build on a point lead that coming into today's racing stands at a total of 46 over Bigfoot. Carolina Crusher still alive, but he has to beat Equalizer, not lose to it in head-to-head matchups to have any chance at all. The Auto Value King Crunch and Gravedigger round out the top 5, but Gravedigger's season is done. He took it into the wall recently on the New York Mini Tour. He's building a new truck. USA 1, Nightlife, Outlaw, Awesome Kong, and Buffalo Tremor round out our top 10. Well, let's look at qualifying round highlights from Lebanon Valley Speedway as USA 1, Steve Wilkie out of Ham Lake, Minnesota, running side-by-side with Rambo against the clock, remember, but you also want to beat the guy you're next to at least establish a better qualifying time over him and know you're having a good run. What you're going to see from Wilkie, though, is a run that was disqualified. Here it comes. There was the key. You must put both front wheels on the first car for it to be considered a legal run, and USA 1 did not get both front wheels up the ramp and onto the first car. So USA 1 has to come back, re-qualify, but he'll have a 3-second penalty added on his next run. Let's watch it again, and here you'll see very clearly that Wilkie only gets one of those big tires up on that second set, and that is what knocks you out. Here's going to be an excellent angle to see it from. Also, if you'll watch Rambo on the left-hand side of your screen, Wilkie clearly goes way off. Rambo barely makes contact, but that's enough to keep it to be a legal run, apparently. So Rambo has a good qualifying run in the book. USA 1 will have to re-qualify and accept the penalty. You know, this USA 1 truck goes fast, but Steve Wilkie knows that the other half of this sport is the driver being able to handle the track, and lately Wilkie is probably the first to admit he just hasn't done a good job at it. Let's see if he can handle the track this time. Hitting it hard on the second run, and yes indeed, a good run for Steve Wilkie. So where he frankly just lost it on his first run, he comes back with an outstanding run the second time. But when you put that 3-second penalty on, it's very costly to USA 1's hopes for trying to win here tonight at West Lebanon Valley Speedway. Looking at it one more time, the second run for USA 1 is excellent, but with a penalty, he's going to be qualifying well back in the field. Let's go to Chris Chapman, who's over with Steve Wilkie.
Steve, looked like during that first qualification run that you were trying to get out of Rambo's way, which got you DQ'd.
Well, in a way, I really wasn't watching him. I come out the first stack and she kicked a little bit to the inside, and I actually overcorrected. That was my fault.
When you came back with what today, this time, is the second fastest qualification run, despite the 3-second penalty.
Yeah, there we go, the 3-second penalty again. It doesn't really matter where I qualify. I'm going to come out and run them hard. I made a mistake when I came out the first stack. I took a bounce I didn't expect. I don't know, the True Value Chevrolet is running strong, and we're going to get him.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Steve Wilkie of USA 1 as we continue with highlights from the qualifying round. 2 big Fords, Bigfoot and the Outlaw. These are the 2 fastest runs of the night, but look at the finish for Bigfoot into the wall. Andy Brass loses it at the end, smacks the wall, but apparently does not do any damage to Bob Chandler's creation, Bigfoot number 8 out of St. Louis, Missouri. Wow, a wild ride for Andy Brass and Bigfoot. Outlaw's run was outstanding as well, and again, these are the 2 fastest qualifying times of the night. Bigfoot is really getting after it. Andy Brass knows he has got to make up ground on equalizer. He goes all out, almost goes over. Look at that. Only 2 wheels still in contact. Hey, I think the wall may have helped him from not going over. Let's look at Bigfoot coming right into your living room. Almost gets out of control, but Brass straightens it back up, launches it, then gets in trouble at the end of the run, but the wall stops him. Andy Brass, your fast qualifier. Chris Chapman's going to talk to Andy about one of his wilder runs.
Andy, you got a little squirrely off the first set of cars. You got hit on the second set of cars, and you still had the fast time.
Yeah, it is. You know, it just goes to prove the truck will run when it does, when we can hit the cars right, you know. It's first time in that lane, you know, just trying to check it out. The track seems a little slick on top, as you can see at the end there when I just started sliding. You know, it's nothing we can do about it right now.
Looked like you were going over.
I kind of thought we was there for a little bit. I was just hoping that they didn't pull the kill switch on me and kill me, because I was still trying to steer it under fire.
That's just qualifying. First round highlights are next on ESPN. The superstars of monster truck racing battling for the world championship on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Here's the truck that leads the points chase for the world title. The equalizer, Greg Holbrook, on the right of your screen. He's out of Springfield, Tennessee, taking on the only Dodge on the tour, Gary Wiggins Mopar Magic. He's out of Williamson, North Carolina. Mopar only has 2-wheel drive, and you cannot expect to knock off the equalizer unless you're at 120%. And a crippled Mopar, no match for the powerful equalizer. Holbrook recording an easy victory as he'll move into the quarterfinal round of competition. Again, Holbrook, smooth as silk on this track at Lebanon Valley Speedway. There you see Greg. He's working his way over to Army Armstrong after a victory over Mopar Magic. Let's go down to Army and hear what Greg's got to say.
Greg, an 8.16, and it looked quick, but we got 2 guys that are already running under that 8-second bracket.
Yeah, they've been running real fast. I could take it easy that time. Gary didn't have but just 2-wheel drive. He ripped the front drive shaft out in qualifying, so I took it a little easy that time.
So everything is go? I mean, you're just kind of backpedaling right now?
Yeah, we're just taking it easy on the truck and waiting until we have to get on it before we do.
Chris Chapman has worked her way over to Gary Wiggins, a very likable fellow out of North Carolina who's having some problems tonight, only in 2-wheel drive.
Gary, I believe you needed 4-wheel drive to go up against that world champion truck.
Oh yeah, of all things, you know, I got to get the wrong truck. And it was too hard on the truck that way, so I needed a 4-wheel drive bad.
How did it feel, though, going out there in 2-wheel drive? Run looked pretty good.
Well, it felt good, but not at the hole. It felt like I was just sitting there in the hole, so not good at all.
The Outlaw, Mike Wine, the Super Winch sponsored ride out of Pennsauken, New Jersey, will take on Pony Express, one of the more interesting looking creatures on the circuit, especially now with a lot of sheet metal having to be stripped away to get that thing ready to race. Anthony Fortier drives Pony Express out of Bluefield, New Jersey, but it's all Outlaw and Mike Wine. Look at the bounce. Wine is in trouble at the end of the run. Mike Wine, oh, he keeps it on all 4 wheels. What a phenomenal piece of driving by Mike Wine, who steers the Outlaw out of big-time trouble at the end of the course. I cannot wait to see this replay again. Outlaw wins it easily over Pony Express, but watch the trouble Mike Wine gets into at the end of the run. A lot of air, and then a high bounce. Now Wine is like riding a bucking bronco trying to get her straightened out. It gets up on 2 wheels, but the key, Mike Wine stays in the throttle and powers out. A masterful job of saving a truck that looked like it was headed onto its roof. One more time with Mike Wine saving the Outlaw from disaster at Lebanon Valley Speedway. Army Armstrong is caught up with Mike Wine.
You seem to be attacking the track right now. We haven't seen this in you. Is it because you're getting new confidence in you, as yourself as a driver, and the engine combination?
A little bit of both. I'm finally getting used to the truck. Plus, I called home. I talked to the owner, Nick Rossi at Triangle Springs in Pennsauken. We just picked up a new sponsorship. It's Super Winch out of Connecticut. They just pumped in $25,000 into us for this brand new motor. I feel like I have to prove something to those people. They were kind enough to give us the money for this. I'm going to do my best for those people if I can. Super winch out of Connecticut.
Tell you what, you impressed a whole lot of people. Lebanon Valley, we'll see you in the next round.
Thank you, Army.
The quarterfinal round highlights on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge are just around the corner here on ESPN. Welcome back to the TNT Monster Truck Challenge from Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York. We are ready for quarterfinal round competition as Steve Wilkie stares intently through the mask inside of USA 1. He'll take on his old nemesis, the Carolina Crusher, as they renew the rivalry in two of the best-known Chevrolets. Out of Minnesota, Wilkie. Everett Jasper built the USA 1 truck to win the '88 World Championship. Gary Porter runs his own show out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, and he drives the Carolina Crusher. He drove it to the runner-up spot in the World Championship points race behind Equalizer a year ago. So these are two of the most storied and successful trucks in monster truck racing. They go head-to-head. A dandy finish as Carolina Crusher ekes out the narrowest of victories over USA 1, and you can credit that victory to a superb start by Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. We're going to go to a replay, and I want you to watch the start. It looked like Porter got out of there just a little bit ahead. He ends up crossing the first set of cars. USA 1 makes up ground on the second set, but he could not overcome a better start for the Carolina Crusher, and Gary Porter gets the victory over USA 1. Again, the replay, and again, you can see the win is attributed to a great start by Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. Here's Army Armstrong.
Gary Porter took a whole shot on the starting line, but you had to drive it out the back door on this track, didn't you?
I did. I knew USA 1, he was going to be pushing his as hard as he could, and I was going to have to push mine as hard as it would run. And I just lined up real far to the right side on that first set of cars and tried to miss all the holes and, you know, in the cars and just hold on.
Well, let's leave the track and go down pit road where Chris Chapman has caught up with Steve Wilkie. Chris?
Steve, it did look like you got a little crooked, a little sideways off that first set of cars. Maybe that was what was the difference.
Yeah, I lined up a little different down on the bottom side here, and when I did that, I hammered the throttle, and the truck moved on the starting line like that, so I hit the actually hit the stack crooked.
Looked like you were also a little out of control there at the end.
No, never.
Steve Wilkie out of control. Come on now. The Auto Value King Crunch, Scott Stevens out of Woodlands, Texas, will challenge the reigning champion of the sport, the Equalizer Chevrolet, and Greg Holbrook out of Springfield, Tennessee. Isn't this a weird set of circumstances? Bigfoot, the arch rival of King Crunch, who's been involved in a war of words with Scott Stevens all year. Bigfoot, the entire camp has to be cheering for Scott Stevens and hoping that Stevens can knock off the Equalizer here. Boy, this racing does make strange bedfellows, just like politics. Showtime! Thank you note from the Bigfoot camp down to Texas as the Auto Value King Crunch has upset the Equalizer, and Scott Stevens records a huge upset victory. A big victory for Stevens, but also for Bigfoot, because Bigfoot has a chance to gain points. The TNT Monster Truck Challenge World Championship standings. There you see it. The win to the Auto Value King Crunch. Scott Stevens knocks off Equalizer. Let's get a look at him from our end zone camera. A great start, but Stevens stays nice, straight as an arrow, and man, did he pull the trigger on that second set of cars.
Scott, a sub 8-second run, but that's what it's taken to get through this thing tonight against one of the baddest boys in the sport.
Yeah, you know, probably a year ago you could have known who was going to win one of these races. Now, you know, there's so many guys that get tougher every round. Outlaws, well, you know, some of the quickest runs tonight. Kevin Ford, you know, he got me down the track that time. I kind of made a few mistakes earlier. He went out there and figured out where we need to put the truck. We staged it there. It worked. Kind of slept a little on the line, but on the big end we were there, and that's all that matters. Thank you.
Let's go to Chris Chapman with Equalizer driver Greg Holbrook.
Greg, it looked like that you had him off the line line and then lost it at the end.
Yeah, it wouldn't go into third gear. I put it up in drive, and it just wouldn't shift into third.
So there were some problems with the equalizer.
Yeah, the transmission must be going out again on us.
The Outlaw has been running superbly all night. He would figure to be a big favorite over Thunder Chicken in this quarterfinal round matchup. Mike Wine drives Outlaw out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. The Thunder Chicken pilot, Kid Rarig. He's from Catawissa, Pennsylvania. As expected, it's all Outlaw. Oh, sparks from underneath the Outlaw. That was in the area of the drive shaft. This could be big problems for the Outlaw, who has been running superbly tonight. Boy, Mike Wine has been looking so good, but watch the end of the run. He puts away Thunder Chicken very early, but look for sparks under the truck at the end of the run. There they are, right there. We're going to have to find out how big of a problem that is for Mike Wine's Outlaw, and we'll see if he can make it into the semifinal round, because he's earned his way there, and the semifinals are coming up next. Work underneath the Outlaw being done by Mike Wine and his entire crew, trying to repair the front drive shaft. And they're going to have to hurry because Mike Wine is on deck, if you will. He'll have to race the Auto Value King Crunch as soon as we complete this race between Bigfoot number 8, Andy Brass out of St. Louis, Missouri, and the Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter, the Chevrolet, from Wadesboro, North Carolina. The winner goes to the Monster Smash Final, and Bigfoot needs this win badly in the season point standing. And he'll get the victory. Andy Brass, no problem in putting away the Carolina Crusher. So Bigfoot, which lost a lot of ground in the first night of competition to the Equalizer, I'm talking about the first night of competition in West Lebanon, New York, he's picking up ground in night number 2. Equalizer's on the trailer, and Bigfoot's in the Monster Smash Final. We're going to look at it again, and boy, this was really no contest. Gary Porter, terrible off the starting line. He really just never got any speed up at all, and Bigfoot records the easy victory. So Andy Brass is in the final. And now he'll wait to see if it's Scott Stevens, his arch nemesis, or Mike Wine in another Ford who'll be there with him.
Andy, all night long, you and your crew chief have been going back and tweaking the truck, fine-tuning, and it's going straight as an arrow for you now.
That's right. You know, Donnie and I, we've been working all week on the truck. We've been having a lot of problems at pulling to the right. We think we got it under control tonight, though. So we've just been lining up on the line and pulling it, and it's been working pretty straight. We're having to work at it, but it's been doing us a good job.
Have any preference to who you want to go against in the final, or does it make any difference to this type of competition?
It don't really make any difference right now.
Andy Brass looks awfully confident as Bigfoot 8 is running superbly tonight. We'll go to the other semifinal matchup now, and it will be the Auto Value King Crunch going up against Mike Wine's Outlaw. Now, the Auto Value King Crunch is at the starting line, staging to go up against Outlaw. Army Armstrong is able to have radio communication with driver Scott Stevens. Let's listen into Army.
Scott, you've done this for many years. You've been in this position before. You're going to give this guy every chance he can get to get up there and race against you. You want to win a racing, right?
Exactly. You know, he's been running really good tonight. Like I said, I know if he can get to the line, he's still going to give us a good run. And I feel kind of bad about pulling up here. Like I said, we tried to play around in our pits as long as we could. And the official come back there and said he's going to put us on the clock. So, you know, we had to come to the line. We did all we could for him.
Poignant from Scott Stevens that he was willing to take his time to get to the starting line, because the TNT rule is that you have 5 minutes once your opponent is staged. Well, King Crunch took his time staging, and it may have helped Outlaw, because here he comes. Mike Wine is coming to the line. We understand, though, that he did not get his repairs made 100%, and that Wine will have only two-wheel drive. Now, to explain it quickly, two-wheel drive basically will hurt Mike Wine at the starting line. He'll be able to get speed, but where Scott Stevens is going to have 4 wheels cranking at the start, Scott Stevens has that advantage because Mike Wine can only pull with 2. applause staged. He's going to give it an effort, but the advantage certainly will be with the Auto Value King Crunch. The winner meets Bigfoot in the Monster Smash Final. Here we go. It's showtime. Outlaw hanging in, but he didn't get there. You have got to tip your hat to Mike Wine. He made that a whale of a close race. Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Crunch, as we expected, got him off the starting line. But Mike Wine came back strong at the end and was very close to pulling out a victory in two-wheel drive. Boy, that was a great replay to let you see how slowly Wine got off the starting block. And then at the end, Wine was picking up ground in two-wheel drive. It, however, was not enough to give him the victory. Again, watch the starting line. Scott Stevens blasts out of the block. Mike Wine had only two wheels to give him power and could not keep up at the starting line. Scott Stevens gets the win in the Auto Value King Crunch. And I'll tell you, he's tipping his hat to Mike Wine as well. There's Scott. Army Armstrong is going to talk to him. Army, let's see what Scott's got to say.
Scott, motorsports make kind of strange bedfellows. The fact that you work so hard to beat a guy, but then again, you come over, you always got tears in your eyes after beating him. You know what he went through. You've been there before, but you're going to the final, and he's not.
Yeah, this Auto Value bunch, we need to get to these final rounds for all our sponsors and everybody. We've had a bad month, and hey, it's our turn to get up there and play with Bigfoot and those other guys. And truck's working good. Like I said, Kevin got me through that other round, and around there, I just, wanted to win. I just kind of kept an eye on Mike because I knew he was still going to run that truck hard. He always does. And when I saw he was right there with me still at half track, I just, did what I had to do to win, save our truck. Because, we're going to have to get all these good old Auto Value parts and Cobra seats and race and radios and everything just to get through this final to get that Bigfoot truck.
We got your sponsors mentioned now. Let's go to the finals.
Let's go.
It is the hottest rivalry and the most bitter rivalry in monster truck racing. The Auto Value King Crunch and Bigfoot. They're coming up next in the Monster Smash Final. The state-of-the-art Bigfoot number 8. And the guy in the truck who doesn't think he should be allowed to race him, the Auto Value King Crunch. Scott Stevens lobbied long and hard, helped to get Bigfoot 8 banned, but now the truck is legal, and he wants to put Stevens away. It's the Monster Smash Final. And it's all Bigfoot. Andy Brass and Bigfoot knocking off Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Crunch. The Big Ford is in victory lane. The acclaimed sponsored Bigfoot gets the win. Let's go to the replay. You'll note a nice smooth run for Bigfoot, and you're going to see handling problems for the Auto Value King Crunch in between the stacks of cars, and that ends up costing Scott Stevens. This will be the perfect angle to see it. The Auto Value King Crunch is on the right of your screen, and bang, there it was. That knocked him out of shape and cost him a chance at the win. Bigfoot wins it.
All right, this was a night, Andy, that you guys were looking for, being the Bigfoot team, and the other guys were not. You got the truck running straight, you got it handling good. What about the points chase now? Can you pull these guys in that are in front of you? And there's only one of them.
That's right. Equalizer's been ahead of us. From what I've been following, he's only roughly, 30, 40 points maybe. But we have another couple shows to go, and if we can keep her straight. And tonight we had a perfect night. It was 25 points. We pull a couple more of them off. It won't take us long to catch him.
Can you do it? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Ford Acclaim running the way it is tonight and stuff. I think we'll catch him here in a couple shows.
As Andy noted, a perfect night in monster truck racing is 25 points. Bigfoot accomplished that. Equalizer was knocked out in the quarterfinals. So now the point difference is just 31 for Equalizer over Bigfoot. Carolina Crusher, Auto Value King Crunch, USA 1 now number 5. Then in the number 6 spot, the Gravedigger, whose season has come to an end because of a crash earlier. Nightlife, Outlaw, Awesome Kong, and Buffalo Tremor rounding out the top 10. For Army Armstrong and Chris Chapman, I'm Scott Douglas. We're going to look for you next time with more of the superstars of monster truck racing right here on ESPN.